Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making this rainbow beanie. I call it my 40 by 40. I have a whole bunch of beanies I make with this same style. It's very beginner friendly, very easy to do, and you can wear this beanie in a couple different styles. So let's get right into it. First, you're going to need a base color. I picked gray as my base color, and then obviously all of the colors of the rainbow. And I'm using a size H hook. I'll get the conversion for that and put it in the screen. Also, you will need yarn needles and scissors. So to start off, very basic slip knot of your base color. It's not typically how I do a slip knot, but for the sake of the video, that's what I did. Then you're going to chain. And I called it a 40 by 40, so we are going to chain 40. Okay, so now that we are at the end, we are going to half double crochet into the second loop, or the second chain stitch from the end. So you're going to yarn over, stick it in the chain, pull through 3. And we're going to do that all the way down. The whole hat is made in half double crochet, so it's very easy. Yarn over, go in the chain, pull through, have 3 on your hook, pull through all 3. Yarn over, pull through, pull through. Very simple, and you're going to complete the whole chain just like that. Okay, so now we are finishing up that row. We're going to go all the way to the end. And then for this last one, we're going to do the half double crochet and chain 1. And this is where we will flip our work. And you have your first row. This counts as row 1. And there should be 40 stitches on that row. So now you're going to yarn over. Now we're only going into the front loops. For the whole beanie, every time you turn, it will always only be in the front loop, not the whole chain. In that chain, you can see that space in the beginning, that big hole, that would be the chain. We're going to go into that loop right above it, again with a half double crochet. So we'll yarn over, We'll go into just that loop, we yarn over again and pull through, yarn over again, pull through all 3. This effect kind of gives the hat a ribbed look, and we're going to do it again, just in the front loop. And we're going to do that all the way down. And that will be row 2. You're going to want to do this for 17 rows. And here we are with the 17 rows of your base color, yay. We're going to come to the end of it, doing that same half double crochet into the loop, the front loop only. And at the end of this, we are going to add our first color. Okay, so we are going to complete the 40th stitch, just like we would. We're going to chain the 1, and this is how I add my colors. You can, if you have a different way of adding yours, that's great, do that. But I take my next color, put it over my hook, pull it through that chain 1, and tighten it down. Pull that tail tight, and now I'm going to cut off the gray. And I do this now so that the project's easier to work with, but also I can crochet over that tail, and then I have very, very few things to weave in at the end, you'll see. So now for our 18th row, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to do a half double crochet in that front loop only, but this time we're going to take our tail, both of our tails, we're going to put them over the hook and crochet right over them in the front loop only. So we're going yarn over, go in, put the tails over the hook, yarn over again, pull through 3. This saves me a boatload of time for weaving, which I can appreciate, because weaving is my least favorite part of doing any project. And we're going to complete that all the way down until, you know, the ends are, or the tails are covered. And if it starts to get loose at the first, you know, stitch, I like to pull the tails to make the whole thing look more uniform. That way it's not sloppy and loose. And we'll complete, you know, that until you're happy with how far your tails have been covered. And then when I feel like there's enough, you know, stitches across the tails, I'm going to go ahead and push those back and just continue doing a half double crochet in each of the front loops of my base color, and just carry on as usual till the end of the row. Okay, so we are finishing row 18 with the red. We're going to finish it all the way to the 40th stitch, and we are going to complete that whole stitch, and we are going to chain 1. We're going to add our orange just like we added our red. So we are going to grab our orange, We're going to connect it right to that chain 1 stitch. Now, if you don't want to crochet over your tails, that will make this project go faster, I guess. This is just the way that I like to do it. It is kind of a pain for the first few stitches as you're covering those tails, but in my opinion, it's worth it in the end so that you have less to weave in. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the red. But now we have an ugly side to the beanie. That's what we're going to call it. That's where all of our tails live. And that's where all of our cutting will be done. So this is our ugly side. So now we need to bring the tails to the front of that side. We want all of the tails on the ugly side of the beanie. But it will be the very same concept. So you will have your tails, you'll take your color, yarn over, and it is kind of a pain, but for me it's worth it. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into that first front loop, having our tails on the ugly side, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And we're going to continue that until the tails are covered to my liking. And I promise it's only a pain for the first few stitches while you're covering that tail. Everything else just goes so much smoother. Okay, and so we're going to finish that all the way down. We're going to finish row 19, same concept, half double crochets all the way down, and now we're at the end of row 19, the orange color, and we are going to add in our yellow the exact same way. We're going to finish those 40 half double crochets. We are going to go ahead and chain 1. And we're going to add our yellow. And this is how I do it for every color chain. But we want to remember where the ugly side of the beanie is so that we know where the tails need to be. So we're going to go ahead and clip that orange. We're going to pull the tails to the ugly side of the beanie. And then the same thing. We will half double crochet over those tails. Making sure that our tails are on the ugly side of the beanie. And this will be row 20. and we will complete that all the way down. You know, I want to make sure, you'll see me checking how long my tails are, because I want to make sure that I have enough to cut off. I don't want to cut it too close to my project. I do not want to cut my project, so I will be gauging here in a second how long my tails are. But I just wanted to put in, you know, there'll be a lot of people that crochet faster than this, and that's cool. But I have a couple of new crocheters in my real life that are very much beginners, and I am very excited about it. So I will be crocheting a bit slower in this tutorial. And that's just for like anybody that likes it slowed down a little bit. You know, I want more people to crochet, so if this can help them because of my speed, cool. If you're a seasoned crocheter or you don't like the speed, you can go ahead and speed it up. But we're gonna finish that row all the way down, and look at it, it's so pretty already. I love it. But we're gonna do that for the green, the blue, and the purple. We're gonna do the same thing, same concept. Make sure all of your tails are on the ugly side if you're crocheting over them. If not, you can worry about it later and crochet them into whichever side you please. I'll meet you back at the purple. Okay, we are at the end of the purple, and we are going to add our base color back in. Remember, I said it's a 40 by 40. So we have 40 rows to do. We're going to add our base color just like we added every other color through our chain 1. And we're going to crochet over those tails and do the half double crochet in the front loops for another 17 rows. Okay, we are at the end of our 17th base color row. This is row 40. We're going to go ahead and finish it like usual. Half double crochet in the front loops for 40 stitches. There we go. And now we're going to look at our work. Isn't it beautiful? I think if I had the patience to make a blanket, I think this design would make a really cute blanket. But for the hat, we're going to need a tube. So we are going to turn it ugly side out. To create the tube, we're going to line up our ends. And I like to just do a slip stitch. A lot of people here would sew. That's an option if that's something you're into. I just like the slip stitch better because I feel like it holds better. And maybe it's just because my sewing's off and maybe you're awesome at it, but I already have the yarn on the hook, so I'm just going to do it like this. So to do the slip stitch, I'm going to go into that first, and I'm still only doing the loops. So I'm going to go into that first chain loop on row 40, and I'm going to line that up with my very first chain when I started row 1, or when I started the chain. So I'm going to go ahead and slip that right into there, and if your count is right, there will be 40 stitches to slip stitch into. So I'm just going to yarn over, stick it in, find my next loop, stick it in, pull through, and I'll complete that all the way down until I have the tube. Okay, so now we're at the end. We have the tube. That will be the hat. And this hat, you know, fits a variety of sizes. The way the yarn is, it has a lot of play, but we are going to cut a very long tail because we are going to cinch the top, and we want to make sure that we have enough yarn to go into each of the stitches around this tube to cinch it together. So I just pull my yarn through, it creates a little knot, and then I will get one of my yarn needles and weave in that small tail that was from when we first started. This I will have to hand weave in. And you can weave in any way you like. You can go across the project. It's all the same color, so it won't stand out. I like to just go straight up against that seam in the back that we made with the slip stitches. You just want to make sure that the end of that tail is sticking out on the ugly side of the beanie. So the side that is facing us now. And then I will go ahead and add my longest tail to my yarn needle and go ahead and start weaving into these top loops of this tube. And I'll just go all the way around. And as I'm going, I will pull it to cinch it so that I can get through the rest of the loops around the top. And once you get the hang of it, this process goes so quickly. And see, I'll pull through a little bit at a time and go ahead and cinch it so I can get through the rest of the tube. When I'm at the end of the tube, I'm going to go ahead and pull it very tight. Not tight enough. Be careful, don't break your yarn. Like, pull it to where it's good, it's tight, it's closed. And then I go side to side from the front of the hat, which will be the rainbow. So I will go in through one of the other sides instead of the front, making sure that I'm on the other side of that hole that would be at the top. Bring it out and pull it tight. We want to close that hole at the top. And then I will go from front to back. And when I pull through this time, I will make sure that my yarn goes over my yarn needle to make a knot. And now the top of the hat is closed. And then I will find a random stitch and make another knot just to make sure. I do not want the top of this hat to come open. So I will make another knot, and then I will weave this end into that slip stitch seam that we made. That's also another reason why I like to use the slip stitch, because it makes a nice visible seam. I know where the back of the hat is, and I can weave into it, you know, fairly easy. And you don't have to weave in this end for as long as it is. You can just weave it in until you think, you know, your project is secure and you're okay with just cutting it off. And then I will begin cutting. All of the tails that we crocheted over and that we weaved in will now be cut off. Be careful when you're doing this that you do not cut your project. That has actually happened to me, which is why I'm mentioning it. I've been crocheting for some time, but accidents happen. Don't cut too close. I am so excited, and now we get to flip it right side out. And voila! Isn't she lovely? Very cute. Very easy. I love how the base color makes that rainbow pop. And this is not a hard project. It's a pretty quick project, especially if you are a seasoned crocheter. This would go by in no time. It's one stitch. But here it is. You can wear it a couple of different ways. This is the slouchy beanie style. Very cute. Very simple. And those base colors, they really just make it pop. I'm obsessed, really. And this is another way you can use it as a brim beanie. Very cute. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you like this kind of content or you just like hanging out with me, go ahead and like and subscribe.